the weird and wild side of watercolor. So if you go shopping for watercolor, you're also going to see lots of things that are watercolor adjacent. The only one I don't have with me today is liquid watercolors, which come in like a dropper bottle, and they are more ink based, so they will stain more, which only matters for certain techniques. Probably doesn't matter that much to you all. They also tend to be like more vibrant, and they interact with water weirdly because they have like a glycerin component in there, so it like pushes the water around differently. You might also see something called watercolor powders or colored stains. This one says sprinkle on surface and spritz with water. So I know that the recommendation that people say for these is to put like a little hole in the cap and then put some tape over it. I haven't done that yet, so we're just gonna, you don't need very much. Oh, that was a big piece. Well, we'll see what happens here. Maybe I can break those up a little bit. So these are just pigments that can be activated with water, and so you can either sprinkle these on something already wet and get, this is a very uncontrollable technique where you would definitely want to like tape out paper and like mask anything that you don't want this less controlled version of watercolorness on. So those are the powders. There are also watercolor crayons that you can get, which lay down just like a crayon or like an oil pastel, but they are water soluble. So I can come in and mix and blend these nicely. And with the crayons, I can almost blend out any lines. Or I can leave them in for effect, or I could come in and draw through them, and it's like a crayon that's super, super smooth. So that's some stuff that you can do. Watercolor pencils function very similarly to color pencils, except for instead of using a colorless blender to do your blending, you can use watercolor, and just water and a brush, and it tends to go a little bit further as far as blending. Like you can pick up a lot more of the pigment.
That's so cool.
And there are some called ink tints, which are like super vivid, bright, inky, like bright ink colors, or you can get traditional, more watercolor colors. Another fun thing that you can do with watercolor is if you want to do a resist, you can either buy, which I don't really use it in this class, simply because it's kind of annoying and a more advanced technique to use. But masking fluid, where you like paint it on, and then you need to let it dry completely, so several hours, and then you can paint over it, and then at the end use something called a rubber pickup to rub across it, and it will, underneath it will all be left white. You can use that. I've been having really bad luck with them tearing my paper lately, so it works okay with this Canson paper. With the Fabriano paper that I sometimes buy, that paper's too soft and it will rip it every time. I had to repaint a portrait of cats 3 times because of it. Yeah. So before I figured out, I just couldn't use that paper if I wanted to use that technique. So
a few weeks ago and I needed it.
Yeah.
Like it was just not good.
Did you buy the kind in like the needle bottle? Or did you? Yeah.
It had like a tip
Yeah. Okay, that's the kind I do like. The brush on stuff I like less because, well, one, I'll only use a silicone brush with it because it'll ruin your brush.
It like kept bubbling when I was squeezing it out.
Oh, yeah, it takes a lot of practice to get like the perfect tension to just like pull a line. That's why we don't really use it in this class. I'm just like, use white gouache or something like that, or a white gel pen. White gel pen works lovely over watercolor. If you want to do a resist, though, like maybe you wanted like a batik-esque type of fabric where they've done the wax on the fabric and then dyed over it, you could use, this is a birthday candle, and you can, they do like make like clear wax crayons that you can do this with. They didn't have enough in stock when I wanted to do this with a workshop, so birthday candles work just fine. And now I'm going to take my second layer and go over it here, and wherever this wax is, it will resist. The downside is I can't take this wax back up. There actually are ways where I could get it a little bit back up, but probably not enough that I'll ever be able to put more down. So I won't be able to make it darker once I put the wax on top. But I can use the wax to create little effects. I tend to use a higher grade thing than a birthday candle if I'm doing like a gallery painting, but for something that I'm like scanning and altering digitally and doing as a print, or something like a rendering like this where it's more like a temporary piece of art, it's not meant to be something that's going to have to hang forever in a home or a gallery space, the wax is just fine. Let's see, anything else that I can teach you? Oh!
Are we supposed to be like, for renderings with this, doing a like base outline with a pencil or a pen and then?
Ah, yes. Let me address that.